We go to the Black Hills in North Dakota and we climb up the rocks and mountains and hills around there.
There's a lot of cacti, there's a lot of sage, there's not a whole lot of trees. The ground, it's mostly flat, but then there's a lot of badlands out in North Dakota.
Well, my dad moved out to North Dakota and we didn't know how often we get to see him. So then when we got to go out there and he took us jeeping, it became a nice family thing that we got to do. And so it means a lot to me. It means I get to spend time with my family and have a good time, and that no matter where we are, we can always find something fun to do together.
Spending time with family and friends and getting to see the incredible views and the absolute neatness of nature. Being able to see a little boy go jeeping with his dad for the first time, getting to see his excitement. The first time I went with my dad, I had the same thing. I was older, I was a teenager, but just being able to go out there and see this stuff for the first time and getting to experience the thrill of it all. It's just a great way to bond with people.
Yeah, it's become kind of like a family tradition where we go every summer that we can together. We started because my dad moved to North Dakota and he met some people that I guess must have told him about it or something. And then when we went out there to visit him, he took us, and at first it was a little scary, but then once you realize you're not going to tip over backwards and fly out, it became fun.
When I first started going out to North Dakota in the summer, there wasn't a whole lot you could do, and being able to go jeeping lets you explore the badlands of North Dakota in a way that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
There's a club out there called the Cliffhangers, and we go with them, and they usually get together one weekend a year in July, and everyone comes, and we all go jeeping together. People come from all over the country, and there's people that come from Canada, and the club keeps growing, so there could be people from all over, even more places now. There's people from 4 years old up through like 80 years old. There's been a couple of people that bring their dogs and stuff. They bring little dogs, they bring big dogs. It can be if you're not careful, but that's why we all go together and we help each other get through each obstacle and course, but you always have to be careful when you get out of the Jeep because there are rattlesnakes. My dad, one time when he was climbing down one of the hills, kind of tripped and scraped up his leg, but nobody's been seriously injured, like breaking a bone or anything. Probably a couple times every year, but it's not anything usually really bad. I remember one bad time where somebody actually like flipped over backwards, but it's not, people don't usually go rolling down the hill. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of the Cliffhangers.
It's very important to have water, toilet paper, because nature calls out in nature. It's important to have shovels, it's important to have winches, it's important to have fire extinguishers.
Well, there's this one trail called Topless, and it got its name because the very start of the trail, there's a part that you go through where there's two rocks on both sides that have that like kind of like pillar up and then have a flat top. And as you go through it, nobody can make it through this obstacle with a top on their Jeep because it will break it, because you have to squeeze so tightly to make it through. And there's another trail where there's something they call the funnel. It's a huge trench that they have to try and straddle over, and most people get sucked down into the funnel part of it and have a hard time getting out. The first time my dad tried going through the funnel, he couldn't make it through until his third try, and now every time he goes through, it's on his back two tires and basically vertically up in the air, driving right through it. My nephews, when they get older, I think that's something that they're really going to be into.
Anyone who loves nature, anyone who is semi-interested in an extreme sport. Jeeping's a pretty extreme sport. There's a lot of danger There's a lot of things that could go wrong if you don't know what you're doing, but if you go with a great group of people who are competent drivers and know the terrain, it is so much fun, and you can see so many cool things while you're out there, and the adventure and the thrill of it all is just incredible.